I'm Lonna Kelly, and this is Hudson Valley Art Speak. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to be talking to Pat Lane today. Pat is just a mixed media artist. She does a lot of different things, and we're going to explore several of her avenues that she is creative in. So, hi, Pat.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for coming today.
I'm thrilled.
Oh, good, good. Let's talk about your fabric pieces first.
Okay.
Why don't we start there? Because I think that maybe is that also what you started out with?
I did start out as a teenager. I've been designing clothes for about half a century. I started as a teenager. I started out just wanting to look different. I would, go to stores, buy clothing, deconstruct them, and reinvent them to be something slightly different.
Uh-huh.
Then when my husband and I got married, we formed a band, and I wanted clothing that nobody would walk into the room wearing. And I knew I needed for it to look good 30, 40, 50 feet away. So I started thinking not just of the ease of the fabric and the movement to not keep me from moving on stage, but also the sculptural quality of it. And so I found myself adding feathers, adding washers, nuts and bolts, springs, that kind of thing. And so I did, for about 31 years, maybe 40 years, I was designing clothing. Then we started doing contracting, and I had a lifetime supply of fabric, and suddenly I started picking things up from the construction sites, metals and chains and pieces of fabric and pieces of electrical wire, and putting them together.
Yeah, I'd like to talk a little bit about your beading.
My beading?
Yeah.
It takes such patience and good eyes.
Yeah.
I do. I've done, when I look back at things that I've made in the 70s, I don't know how I had the patience, frankly.
Yeah, well, even this dress that's hanging on the wall here, there's a lot of metal and a lot of work on the top there.
Well, this is vintage silk chiffon. The trim at the bottom is from about 1910, 1911. So that's silk and cotton. And the top are copper chains. The challenge was to try to create a garment that doesn't involve needle and thread. And so the top is ripped pieces of silk that I wove with the chains, and that's how the whole bodice is made. And then eventually I did have to use needle and thread to attach the base, but
right.
That's how the top was made.
Right. It's a pretty heavy dress.
Yes, but Joan Crawford's beaded dresses were 40 or 50 pounds.
Yeah.
I did Hollywood research, and it feels like pajamas on. It's so comfortable.
Yeah. Well, I guess all the weight is up on the shoulder too.
Yeah.
It's not down below.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So you've done other pieces of clothing that also work as sculptures. For instance, your Goddess Rain dress and jacket.
That's shredded. It was a metallic knit, a very cheap metallic knit, and the goal was to make it look like an expensive outfit. And so I was wrestling with it, and I just went, oh, I don't even like touching this, and I just wrenched it apart, and suddenly it developed runs and rips, and it became interesting. It became three-dimensional, and then I all of a sudden came up with the idea of it's a skin-tight dress underneath it with like a Manhattan skyline in runs, like stocking runs.
Right.
So the runs are all down with spaghetti straps, exterior darts, and then the jacket is fringe sewn onto lace, formed into a jacket, and then destructed, pulled and pulled and pulled until the fringe became like 10, 20 inches long. Yeah, very comfortable.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, it feels like pajamas.
Yeah. And you are not going to be seeing yourself coming and going in something like that
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where did you? You said you and your husband were in a band for a long time, and so these are something like this you would have designed for the stage.
Mm-hmm. I had that designed for. We played on a cruise ship. We played the coast of Alaska for 14 weeks. And so that was one of my dresses for that moment.
Right, right.
Yeah, like a ball gown kind of concept.
Right, it's very beautiful.
Thanks.
So you also do a lot of mixed media sculpture
Mm-hmm.
and wall pieces. And tell me, I know you do some metal work.
I haven't learned to weld yet. That should be my next thing, maybe.
Yeah.
But I like twisting wires. Can we talk about
Sure,
this?
yeah, in fact, let's talk about this, yeah. I'm sure people are wondering, what the heck is this?
What the?
Yeah, so why don't you tell me about it?
This is Desert Storm camouflage that I bought years ago, and from a tag sale. And these are mid-century cravats that my mother had collected, so they came from her estate. And I looked at them and I thought, my goodness, they would look so great as leaves. And so I took deconstructed electrical wire, made little seams, sent the wire up the edges and then up the center, so I was able to twist them.
I see, yeah.
And this is basically like, no matter how much chaos and tamping down of the human spirit goes on, somehow we manage to rally, come up, create, come together in some kind of joyousness. And so that's basically what I was saying there. I don't know. I try to, when I think of myself, I try to like help with the journey that we're all on. It's not my private vision, but if I come up with an idea, I want to say, hey, did you ever think of thinking about this for 5 minutes? That kind of thing.
Right, right. Well, this is very exuberant to me. I see it in, it's just like, it's full of life. It's like a fountain shooting up.
Well, the prints, they were all from, in other words, each one of those prints was the front and then the back was a solid color. So I just put the two prints together just to make it extra joyful. And
right, it is. It's very joyful. And
Thank you.
It's a great message for our times.
Thanks.
You know, for what's going on in the world today. So what are you up to right now? What are you currently working on? What types of pieces?
As my husband Bob, I said, Bob, I'm going to mention you. He doesn't ask what it is anymore. He goes, how big is it?
Yeah.
Because I say it's as big as it has to be. So I have a couple things on the drawing board. I have I would love to do a hat tip to 50s television because it was very important to me, and I realize the older I get, the more influential it was to me. And the neighbors across the way from us, he was Gertrude Berg's son.
Uh-huh.
And when she did the Molly Goldberg show, after the show was over, she took away the mirror from her backstage, her makeup mirror. And it was going into the dumpster, and I was like, I can't see that happen. Because she was in with the blacklisting, and some of her actors were dogged by those people. And I would love to do some kind of hat tip to that time. So
a tribute to
something
the
with the mirror. It has to. When I have ideas, I'm not sure if I can pull them off.
Right.
Like
right.
I don't sketch something and then go, there it is.
Right.
I get in the middle of it and hope I can find my way out.
Right. I mean, would you gather the materials, or
so
did the
it
materials
would be,
inspire you?
It's one of those classic, and it weighs 200 pounds or something. One of those classic mirrors that fold out with the makeup lights all around.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I'd love to like maybe do a sketch of her looking in the mirror, and have the mirror have events of the time in the mirror somehow. But I don't know how I'm going to do it. But
Okay.
The clouds are gathering. That's basically like at 4 a.m. I'll be, there it is.
Yeah. Do you keep a notepad by the bed?
I should.
Yeah.
I should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way you don't lose the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about. You have a piece called Strangler Girl.
Oh, it's Strangler Vine, which is bittersweet.
Yeah.
But tree strangler. Bought those boots, loved those boots, wore them twice, very dangerous. Couldn't give them up. They were actually structural. And so I said, how can I incorporate them? So I was helping my neighbor across the lake prune out some of her vines. and I saw the legs, and the legs just, I said, those are legs just stretched out. So I sawed the legs out, took them home, left them in the yard for the summer. And then all of a sudden the boot, leg, and then I built the body, and then I gave her a little outfit, made her some hair.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like it's enormous, is it? I mean, the boots look tremendous.
Well, that's what I love about it. They're just
Yeah.
like these huge, and they have like stones and things stuck in them. I mean, they're just crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
yeah.
it's like 44 inches long, about 2 feet wide, and about 2 feet high.
Okay.
Mm.
Is anything on the agenda? Any place people can see your work, or are you just kind
Well,
of?
she was in Howland, at Howland for the Women of Hudson Valley show in March. And I'd love for her to go to Aiken's. I sent the pictures.
Oh, that would be perfect.
I know, because
that would be a great piece for up there.
she loves exuberant things.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I would love that one and this one.
And that's usually in October at the Aiken Museum, right?
Mm.
Right. You know, our time is almost up, believe it or not.
See?
So, and also people can visit you on the Artist Open Studio Tour. Will you be doing that this October?
Yes, that was so much fun.
Yeah, yeah. I heard a lot of, people give me a lot of feedback, and I heard some really good things about your stop.
Okay. I couldn't get them to eat, though. I was like, eat. They're like, no, 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 we have to keep going on.
Yeah, well, they go to a lot of different places.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, thanks. It was so good to talk to you,
Well,
Pat.
thank you. This was great.
And I look forward to seeing your new work. I look forward to seeing The Strangler Girl.